doing it again. Why can't she just leave me alone? It's Thursday, January 1st, 2:54 a.m. I just heard a vehicle stop. Maybe she's leaving. She was banging on my bedroom window, too.
According to Magellan, a deepwater investigation company that carried out the scan. Images from the scan show a gold necklace with the tooth of a shark that lived more than 23 million years ago. Magellan called the find astonishing, beautiful, and breathtaking.
Wow, that's really something.
Amazing.
Good story. Thank you, Jen. 6 minutes in front of the hour on This Morning.
They were talking about a necklace being found at the wreck of the Titanic. That was interesting. So, good morning. Good morning, YouTube. It's Thursday, June 1st, 2023. It's 3:54 a.m. Obviously, I didn't go back to sleep after what I assume was Priscilla was ding-a-ding-ding-a-ding-ding-ding-dinging on my doorbell, pounding on my bedroom window. I don't think video I shot from my bed. And I was trying to be quiet because I didn't want her to hear me inside, of course. And all my lights are out, so I'm trying to kind of keep it that way. So she'd at least, so it would at least be obvious that I wasn't up, which is unusual. I'm usually, up and doing stuff if I'm at home at that time. But yeah, she, prior to me starting the video shooting, she was pounding on my window as well. She did that a couple times. In fact, she had been at it for a while before I thought I should maybe just start the iPhone recording. There used to be a time after we had split, after I had booted her out, because it's been like, I want to say 9 months since I managed to get her to move out of my place. And I mean, you'd have to really go back through this vlog to get the whole story of it, but it took a lot of effort to get her out. Like, she was saying she was going to leave. I mean, she was saying she was going to leave before this vlog ever started. And that went on for years. I told her, look, I don't want you living here. I never gave her permission to move in. Like, she never asked if she could move in. Just after she lost her apartment in Tempe, she just moved her shit into my place and just acted like she lived there. It is worth noting that's when she brought the cats. Now, the cats had lived with me in my apartment in Tempe prior to me getting my apartment in Phoenix, the one I'm currently living at now. And I'm not sure what the time period was between getting Sambo and then later her coming home with Sheba, and then me moving out of my place in Tempe. I forget how long that went on. Now, prior to that, I had another cat that I had for quite some time prior to meeting Priscilla, named Shadow. That's a whole nother story. She died years ago. So, but it's worth noting that I had the one cat quite a bit before I met Priscilla, and then I found Sambo, and then, which was after I had been dating Priscilla. Moved into my new place. They wanted a pretty hefty pet deposit that I really didn't feel I could afford. Priscilla offered to take care of my cats at her place, which seemed like a good idea. And what I didn't expect was, after me getting my place in Phoenix, that she would start to neglect her place in Tempe so thoroughly to always be at my place in Phoenix. And she let her place just fall apart, just literally get disgusting. Like way more disgusting than my place is, if you can imagine. Meanwhile, leaving the cats there, and she would go there enough to feed the cats. She would stay there sometimes. Sometimes I would go there and I'd stay the night with her, and I did bring a little TV and a VCR and a digital TV tuner and a Laserdisc player and a DVD player to put in her bedroom, just, you know, so when I could go there and watch movies. At the time I watched a lot of movies. I was really into that. And anyway, yeah, she'd put all that stuff, or I'd put all that stuff in place there, but, you know, very clearly my stuff. It's like I gave it to her. And I would sometimes stay the night there, but most of the time I found she was coming over to my place. But the cats stayed there until, of course, she got booted out. Well, and I had let her have a key to my place at that time, and that was probably my first mistake. I mean, I had a key to her place as well. It was when she was in the process of packing up there that I went there and, you know, plugged myself in with the key that I had, and I had a couple scooters charging over there. That's when I was still juicing for Lime, and that's when the phone that I'm shooting video on now got stolen out of my car at her place. So funny that this device has stayed in my life so long. Although most of its lifespan in my life has been sitting in a box in my closet where I forgot I had put it there. But I digress. So anyway, yeah, very unexpected. Like I had gone to work, I guess. It's hard to remember. It was a long time, but at the time when I was juicing scooters, I mean, I worked really, really long hours. But I know at one point I left my place, and then I come back, and she's moved a whole bunch of shit into my apartment, as well as all 3 cats. And had she asked me about the cats, of course I would have taken them. They were, you know, with the exception of debatably Shiva, they were my cats. Especially Shadow, I had had a long time before I met Priscilla. Trying to think of a certain K to go to. I want to get my sip and save drink. I did not get my sip and save drink yesterday. I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth if I don't get that every day. And yes, it would be really nice to have found Mountain Dew. All right, look at that guy shooting right across the door area. I hope I got a good video of that. I love people who can't pay attention to the road in front of them and do crazy shit like that. On that note, my video from my drive home, not yesterday, because I don't think I shot video on the drive home yesterday, but the day before, I was really disappointed that the guy that almost plowed into the 2 vehicles in front of him to the point that he squealed his tires and slid sideways. I was really bummed. I just watched that video back and saw that it's not in the frame. Like, I commented about it, but my phone was sitting at kind of a funny angle, aimed to the left instead of straight ahead, and it was offering to the right. So, might have caught it if the phone was in the normal position, but didn't. Oh well. One of these days, I swear I'm going to sit and cobble together a compilation video of just all the ridiculous idiot driver moves that I see in shooting this vlog. Anyway, as I was saying with Priscilla, I mean, had she said that she had nowhere to move the cats, I would have, of course, taken in my cats. Interestingly enough, my landlord is well aware that the cats are there and has never asked for an additional pet deposit. So, not like I've, gone out of my way to say, oh, hey, Lon, I got the cats there now. You want the pet deposit? But I just, eventually, just when she showed up with the cats, I was just like, well, okay. And, but yeah, she just moved in, and after a couple of days, I'm just like, hey, are you, I thought you said you had another apartment lined up. She's like, oh, it'll just be a couple of weeks. It ended up being years. Fucking years. So, I mean, there's a certain level of resentment that we had a pretty awesome relationship prior to that. But there's just a huge amount of resentment that cropped up between us as a result of her just invading my space that way. The relationship that we had before that was pretty amazing. And I could go into all kinds of details on just how great the companionship was and how great the sex was, but yeah, that's not really what I'm wanting to focus on right now. What I'm wanting to focus on right now is going to Circle K and get me a Fountain Mountain Dew, and I shall be right back with more. All right, welcome back. So I stopped at the Circle K here at 7th Street in Roosevelt. Somebody kind of questionable rolling through on a bicycle with a backpack, and that's not even what I'm concerned about. That's not what I broke out the phone for before getting in the car. What I wanted to show was that tower looming up right there. Like, when did that happen? Hello. Because I want to?
No, but like, are you talking to somebody? Like, what's up?
Is there a reason why you want to know?
Yes.
Why?
I just want to know.
Why do you?
Taking a video.
Why do you want to know?
No, why not?
I mean, I guess my question is, how is it any of your business? Why do you want to know that much about me?
You know me, right? It's,
Well, you started talking to me, so
well, you said-
after I was already shooting
So
video
I
of the
just wanna
building.
know why you scared.
But why do you want to know?
Who is it?
Huh?
Is it a friend? Like,
But I mean, why do you want to know?
I'm sure he's taking a video.
But I want to know why you want to know.
That's me.
That's not really a reason. That doesn't explain why you want to know.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Is it not? Like, why is he gonna be me? He wants to ask me why.
I don't think she knows why she wants to know. She just wants to know. Anyway, so yeah, that tower was not there. It's been, I don't come to this Circle K very often. It's the first time I've ever walked out of the Circle K and noticed that there's there's a tower directly across the street. I'm not really sure when that went up. It looks like it's still under construction, actually. But anyway. Yeah, it's funny that woman would just start asking questions of me, and if I wasn't holding my phone like that, guaranteed that woman would have completely ignored me. I would have been invisible to her. I have never noticed that tower before. It's kind of funny. I used to live very near here in a historic house just north of the Arizona Center called the Emerson House. And there used to be absolutely no high-rises to the north of it at all. Kind of trips. Well, I shouldn't say none. I mean, there were ones on the Central Corridor, of course, north of McDowell, but like nothing in this area that's kind of blowing up. And a lot of that is ASU campus. Anyway, I don't know, it kind of trips me out how much downtown has changed since I lived there. Anyway, yeah, I was getting nowhere with that woman in the parking lot because I wanted to know, are you doing this, you doing that? Like, she's having theories, but she couldn't really articulate why she wanted to know. I guess the words her brain couldn't form is, I don't know how to mind my own business. But anyway, that's fine. I don't know how to mind my own business either. So anyway, but I wouldn't ask somebody something like that. I just wouldn't. I'd let them go about their business. I might look, I might wonder silently to myself. Anyway, anyway, I can't be bothered by that. I still gotta get my ass to work. It's 4:11 right now, so I'm well on track to get to work on time. So anyway, I was talking about Priscilla. After she moved out, and of course she said, you know, hey, if we move out, we're done. I want nothing to do with you. And I'm like, at that point, I was just fine, because I was pretty convinced, like, the last few months that we were together, I was pretty convinced that she was involved with some other dude. Now, whether she slept with him or not, it's debatable. I mean, I don't. Let me say it's not debatable. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Whether or not she slept with somebody else, I have no way of knowing. I don't. And to be honest, it's completely irrelevant. But what was relevant at that time is that she wasn't sleeping with me. She was not only not having sex with me, she wasn't sleeping with me. She was sleeping on my couch. She was like the bum on my couch I couldn't get rid of. You know, I mean, as I was getting fond of saying at that time, it's like, well, you don't cook, you don't clean, and you don't fuck. Why are you here? What purpose do you serve in my home? You know, none. Go. You need to go. And at one point, she straight up said, "Well, I can't afford my own place." Well, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Well, eventually, she managed to get her own place and get the hell out. And of course, I had to pretty much force her hand on that. You know, when she said she had no money to get her own place, suddenly in the middle of that, she had the money to take a trip to Atlanta. Now, I know there was some family stuff she had to deal with. Okay, I get that. But I'm pretty damn sure her family didn't pay for that trip. She did. I mean, there's family stuff I'd like to deal with that I haven't been able to deal with because I haven't been able to afford it, because I have to pay rent. And there's typically not a lot of money after rent and bills for travel to deal with family stuff out of state. I missed my great aunt's funeral. I missed my other great aunt's funeral. I had 2 nieces that died last year. Missed both of their funerals. Yeah, it sucks, but I just, you know, when I don't have the money, I don't have the money. But meanwhile, she had the money to do that, but she didn't have the money to get her own place. She's continuing to be a bum at my place. Well, when she was gone, I just went ahead and changed the locks on the doors. Fuck it, done with it. And I told her, by the end of the month, you need to be out. I'd been telling her all month. So at the end of the month, she was out. She was in Georgia. So I changed the locks. She came back. The locks were changed. Now there was, and I've got this all documented on my vlog pretty well. If you're curious enough to go back and watch those ones, there was this whole drama where she was showing up with the police at my place, trying to get them to force me to let her in, and I just did kind of what I did when she showed up at her today. I just laid there quietly, let them knock on my door. I could hear them saying, well, you know, if that stuff is here, it's a civil matter, and you're going to have to take that up, but we can't just knock down the door and let you in. She got her friend April involved, calling me and bugging me, and it's like, well, at that point, like, I didn't have my car, so my big struggle was just getting to work and back. And when I was working at GYR3, if I didn't have my car, like, pretty much getting my entire day, at least during the work week, consisted of and I was still doing the Thursday karaoke show at Bullocks as well. My entire day consisted of work commute during public transit and sleeping. Like, there's literally no time for anything else. 10.5-hour work shift, plus about 3 hours to get there on public transit and an hour and a half to get back equals not much time for sleep. So Yeah, no, I'm not. I didn't have time to fuck with, her stuff being at my place that she didn't have the foresight to get out when I told her she needed to get that stuff out. Not my problem. You haven't had enough stuff on you to go, spend a week in Atlanta. Obviously, that's enough. You have clothes. Everything else you're gonna have to figure it out. You had the chance to do it, get it out last month on your schedule. Now you got to do it on mine. And I pretty much told her that no, I'm not. And she was offering to take me to work. Well, I'll come, get the stuff that I'll bring you to work. No, I'm not. I don't. She's proven to be unreliable, so I'm not trusting that she's going to do that. No, I'm getting up. I get up. I get ready for work. I go to the bus at a little bit after 4. No. I told her, it's like, no, I don't trust you to get me to work. The only way that there's that extra time is going to exist in my day is if you pick me up from work. I walk out of the building at 5:30 a.m. You need to be at GYR3 at 5:30 a.m. Then you can drive me to my place, and you'll have roughly an hour. Then I need to go to sleep. Eventually, she did that. It took a few days, but finally, she realized that was the only way I was going to let her in. So we get there, and does she, immediately start packing her stuff into her vehicle? No, not at all. She goes straight for my dick, which of course that's my weakness. Her going straight for my dick is my weakness, but it's also the thing that to be honest, probably makes me happier than anything else. Sex with her, especially when she's doing it, initiating it, and like that is absolutely amazing. Always has been. So yeah, of course she's coming right at me. Well, I'm not gonna say no. At least at that point I wasn't gonna say no. So of course she ends up, end up getting it on. She ends up sleeping there, up until the time where I had to go to work. But I never did give her another key. Because I wanted to be able to kind of toggle how and when she could come in, and make it very clear, look, you do not live here. You need to get your shit out. You need to make sure you have another place to live. So yeah, when I left, if she wasn't there, and or I wasn't expecting her or whatever, I locked her out. It's one thing if you're going to be there in bed with me, but other than that, you don't get to stay here. This is not your home. So, So anyway, after that, she got her own place. I don't know. I'm going into way more detail than I have. And I've been vlogging this whole time, so those who've been following this long enough should know this, or you can go back through those. Anyway, to bring us to now, it's been months since she's been willing to have sex with me. Now, it used to be when we would go without talking, and I just stopped talking to her. For me, it would just be frustrating. I'd go over to her place, she'd say, hey, come over to my place, take a bath, and we can sleep together. It'd be great. I'm like, okay. And then I get to her place expecting that there's going to be some bedroom fun. And then I would get denied, or she'd be on the, well, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And does she owe me sex? No. Nobody owes anybody else sex. They don't. But if you invite somebody over under the pretense that that's happening, and then it doesn't happen, expect they're going to be fucking disappointed. And expect they're not going to want to come over again and be disappointed again. Expect that. So not wasting my time to be let down like that. And I just wouldn't talk to her for days. And usually without fail, within a few days, it might be just a couple days, it could take several days, sometimes it take a couple of weeks, but she would show up in the middle of the night at my place, usually right after bar close. Like this time she showed up at about 3:30 in the morning-ish. I don't know, I'll put it in the description because it'll be time-coded on the first segment of the video. But it feels like it was around 3:30, maybe 3. Definitely after 3, which is odd. That's an odd time for her to be showing up. It kind of makes me wonder what she's up to. Not that I'm about stalking her or anything, but but it's just, but I'm curious, to put it mildly. So anyway, she'd usually show up after bar close, which would tell me that, and of course I would sometimes see images, I would see stuff posted on her Snapchat, and sometimes hear from other people, oh yeah, she was over at, acquaintances tell me, oh, she was over at Wander Inn, or she was over at Castaways, or I'd see her on other people's Snapchats at these places where they took pictures of her. So yeah, she'd stay at the bar until closing time and then show up at my place at 2:30 in the morning, 2:15 in the morning, whatever, and knock on the door, knock on the window, and every time I would open the door. But generally the way that would always go in is I would be kind of tired and kind of frustrated, because if I was there, that means I didn't go out. I'd let her in. But I'd already be in bed, I'd already be naked, so I'd come to the door naked, kind of crack the door, and just kind of gesture to her to come in. And she would come in. I'd close the door, and we'd kind of embrace, and then we'd go to the bedroom and do what normal consenting adults that have been in a sexual relationship do in the bedroom. And sometimes after that, she'd take off and go home. Might feed the cats. And other times, like, she'd stay in and be an all-night thing. Never really knew where that was going to go, and either way, I'm fine with it. So I pretty much got in the habit of whenever she would show up, like, it would be random, but even if I was groggy or tired, whatever, I know at least if she showed up at my place, I wasn't going to be let down like that, like staying the night at her place. So I'd open the door. Well, then she kind of started getting in the habit of coming into my place, climbing in bed with me fully clothed, and then if I tried to feel up on her, telling me, oh, don't touch me, and then falling asleep in my bed. Yeah, fuck that shit. So I just straight up stopped answering the door, because fuck that shit. I don't know. I wouldn't say it straight up. Sometimes I'd let her in. Sometimes I wouldn't. A lot of it depended on my mood. And then I found myself sometimes, like, if I thought there was a good chance that she might be showing up, and I was out somewhere else, I'd literally be driving around recording this vlog, just driving around wasting time because I didn't want to be there when she would show up like that, just to avoid the conflict and frustration. Just to fucking avoid it. It's Litchfield Road. Part of me wanted to go up Litchfield Road, but it's 4:25 right now, so I'm actually running quite early on my way to work. Anyway, bringing us to tonight, I mean, there's been absolutely no physical intimacy for, I don't know. I could go through the vlog and figure out that when it last happened. I'm sure I mentioned it, but it feels like it's been a couple of months, at least. There have been times where it felt like it was going to go someplace, place. I mean, I've even stayed the night at her place. She's coming. I made the mistake of letting her stay the night at my place, but just, yeah, as always, it's just, I don't need that. I'm frustrated enough that it's not happening. Without adding to it, her being in my bed and it not happening, or me being in her bed and it not happening, or her being at my place and it not happening, or me being at her place and not happening. It's to the point I can kind of tolerate that it's not happening if I'm over at Wander Inn and she's at Wander Inn, but basically I leave before she does, and I go somewhere else completely different. And I try not to be home until late, like after, in case she does go to my place after she leaves there, that she's gonna just knock on the door, nobody's gonna be there, and she's gonna get bored and leave. Not a comfortable existence at all. And I keep hoping that I'll just connect and hook up with somebody else, and then it'll be, hot and wonderful, and then I can just not think about her at all. Like, hey, I'm with, what are you doing? I'm in bed with my girlfriend. You really shouldn't come over here. Ooh, smashed up car on the right side of the road, completely perpendicular to the access road. Damn. Flashing lights. I'm sure I didn't get that on video well at all. Well, this idiot in the Civic weaving in and out of traffic. So, anyway, I got some asshole fucking tailgating me right now. In a work van, no less. And part of me wanted to take that exit there, and I just didn't realize what one that is. I think that's Sarville. Might take the next exit off 303 and back road again off the Sarville. So anyway, it's kind of weird how lately suddenly it's all about the cats. I want to see the cats. She calls them my babies. They're my babies. They're all I have. And to be fair, she doesn't have any kids. I mean, she's in her, she's 51 years old, has no kids. Her birthday's coming up, about to be 52, so she's never going to have kids. And she's got some sort of physical problem that kind of has prevented her from having kids. And I get the feeling that's something that she regrets. And I can't fully relate to that. I can't. But to pretend like, well, those two cats are your babies and you're incomplete without them because they're your babies. No, they're not your babies. They're fucking cats. And they're my cats, and they live at my place, and they've been there for ages, and they are very unhappy when they leave. I mean, really, if she feels like she needs the companionship of a cat, it's not hard to find a cat. Always plenty of people looking to get rid of a cat. Most every cat I've ever had, I've never gone and adopted a cat, ever. I've never gone to a pet store and bought a cat, ever. Every cat I've ever had has been some random stray cat that I've found, that I've taken in, or a cat that belonged to a relative or a friend who were like, hey, I can't keep this cat, do you want it? God, I can never say no to a cat. Yeah, sure, well, I'll take the cat. It's not hard to obtain a cat. Woman, get another cat. Alright, exit here. I got a good solid half hour to kill, and I don't feel like Snapchat. Or last night. I don't know what time. Oh, actually it would be day before yesterday. It was after work. She responded to the snap that I sent when I went to the grocery store, Fry's grocery store. I sent a snap of the giant inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex balloon, and she responded to that, but I'm not sure when she responded, but I saw it after I was already home from running errands and was sound asleep. Well, not sound asleep, I'm sorry. I saw it after I was home from running errands, but on my, what is that, 166th Avenue. This is the first time I've come in this direction since all this development here. Last time I went down this stretch of Indian School Road, it was a 2-lane road. And now it's a stroll to the median and 3 lanes in each direction. It's wild. Really smooth, really nice. This must have just been pretty recently done. This light should be Sarviel. Yes, it is. But since I've gone this far, I think I'm going to go on up to Reams. I think Reams goes this far south. Actually, you know what? I know damn well Reams does not go that far south. No. Reams is supposed to go to Glendale, and then Glendale goes west, but when I came out here for my job interview, I tried to go that way, and Reams is closed just south of Orangewood, and what do you call it? Glendale is closed. Just past whatever what's this here? Pebble Creek Parkway. Whatever the hell the half-mile street is between Reams and Sarviel. That's where Glendale is closed down. Pebble Creek Parkway. I don't really know this area. This is one of those streets that's not really part of the grid. That acts as an arterial between suburban tract homes and luxury apartments. Hopefully I don't waste too much time and find my ass late to work. I'm enjoying the exploring. Oh, and it looks like it ends right here. No, it keeps going north. Probably turning into that half-mile thoroughfare I can't remember the name of. And of course I can't see the street sign to the right because it's too small and dim. Boy, it's actually just changed from residential to big industrial warehouse on the left and a whole lot of emptiness on the right. Speed limit 45 with a bunch of pylons. I'm not going that fast. Wow, look at that big ass warehouse on the left sitting at an oddball 45-degree angle. Best Buy. I know where Best Buy's distribution center is. I wonder why it sits at such a funny angle. Anyway, so yeah, I saw the message from her, and of course she's just, are you gonna let me come see my babies? And I've told her multiple times that I'm not comfortable, that being with her, if we're not having sex, is a taunt to me. That it is a tease to me. It's like somebody like when you've got somebody that's hungry and you hold a sandwich in front of them and then tell them, oh yeah, you can't eat the sandwich. This is actually my sandwich. And just sit there and eat it in front of them, you know. Yeah, it's for me it's emotionally the same damn thing. Just being with her and not being able to partake in that. Oh, I don't recognize the city logo on the streets, but this has turned into Sarviel, which makes me wonder where Sarviel would have went if I turned left in Sarviel and went north. I think I'm in the town of Goodyear. I can tell there's a sign to the right with a city logo and name on it, and then like the little signs they put to let you know which new housing developers are in which direction. But I'm not sure. I can't quite see it because it's dark. This is a fun way to kill time. I love exploring parts of town like this. I just wish it wasn't so dark. Although if it wasn't dark, it'd be freaking hot. So anyway, I didn't respond to her at that point. I was already in bed. I was trying to go to sleep. I didn't want to get sucked into a annoying conversation. I've already said all I need to say, which is, if we're not having sex, I don't want to hang out with you, because that is a tease and a taunt to me. And it's fucking up my mental health, which is already kind of a wreck anyway. There's nothing else to say. So, damn, I didn't notice what street that was. I would imagine it was Camelback. Actually, no, it was probably Bethany home. I'm sure Camelback was where the four-way stop was. Which would mean this next one coming up is Glendale, which would mean I'm practically to work. It's kind of trippy. You can't see it on my video, but to the left, about a half mile off, I can see all the traffic on Loop 303. To the right, I can just see the glow of the sun getting ready to go over the horizon in distant lights, because there's a big gap to the right caused by just open space that is part of Luke Air Force Base. Oh, and see all those twinkly green lights to the right? It's probably not coming through on my video. You can kind of see a little bit of green tinkle off to the right. That's the warehouse I work at, I think. No, it's probably not. There's another warehouse to the north. Anyway, there's something pretty trippy to me about the green twinkle of, yeah, no, that's not my warehouse. Never mind, I'm on Sarville. My warehouse has the same effect going on. Just a whole row of docks that don't have anything docked, and the green blinking, and in a distance it looks twinkly. TDR indicator lights. That had to have been Glendale I just crossed. Oh wow, nope, that is not mine. That is another Amazon fulfillment. I have no idea which Amazon this one is, but another freaking Amazon. They're everywhere. I got my administrative hearing today. I emailed them back. It was like, I have a very, very old cell phone, and I really don't know how to do this stuff. And I don't have a stable internet connection. Is it possible for me to meet in person? Obviously, I haven't got a response. It's day shift ops is handling this. Walmart distribution center on the left, and I've seen that one from the freeway going to work before. I can't tell if that to the right was just another access to a warehouse, or if that was a street. I'm coming up on a stop sign, which is probably going to be northern. It's got to be the other side of that one that's got all those trippy looking neon lights on the side. I gotta admit, a bunch of neon on the side makes for a cool-ass looking warehouse. At least I think that is neon. Might be some other kind of lighting. It looks cool, whatever it is. This has got to be northern. Wow, random old house on the right. I dig how there's like a square mile of just like old of houses, some old, some new, and horse property here. I don't know, there's a little patch of that kind of stuff around here. And of course you can't see anything because it's freaking dark. I think my camera's dark again. Anyway, so I didn't respond to her. I didn't. Because I'm not trying to have it, I feel like I've already said everything I need to say. She should be able to put two and two together and understand why I don't want her there. I've told her why I don't want her there. I don't need to keep having the same discussion over and over and over. Like, she's already told me why she doesn't want to have sex with me. That's fine. And I've told her why I don't want to hang out with her. And I don't want her around me. And sorry if this impacts you seeing your babies. Okay, this is definitely Glendale, and this is where it's closed at Allsup. Allsup. That's the name of the half-mile street. So this is the street I went north on because I didn't expect that to be closed when I went to my job interview and had to drive like 10 miles per hour because the vehicle I was following was going 10 miles per hour in a 45. So now I'm doing 35 in a 45. It is possible to turn right somewhere in here and go directly to the warehouse down Orangewood, but it's a dirt road and there's no way and it doesn't have a sign on the right, so there's no way in hell I'm going to see it in the dark. I'm just going to go on up to Northern. Wow, which means that, anyway, I would have to look where I went on the map because I was kind of got where I wasn't in the grid where I thought I was in the grid. Actually, I think that was it right there. The light was on the right. That was definitely Orangewood. Another half mile north. Anyway, when I woke up later, and I'd only got like 4.5 hours sleep. Yesterday, the day before, I sent her a message and said that I was, because she responded with, "Ooh, well, you're gonna let me see my babies? Oh, I see you're ignoring me now, and you're silent again now." I said, "No, I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to sleep. You of all people should know I don't sleep well when I'm sexually frustrated." And that's something I told her before, that, it's like, you get on these trips where you don't want to give it up. Just understand that impacts my mental and emotional well-being and my ability to sleep. And that's not me just saying shit to, because I want to get laid. I mean, it literally, that's a problem for me. Always has been. Not as bad when I'm completely alone and she's not around, but yeah, much, much worse when she's around. But I mean, the problem doesn't go away. I'm not getting it. I mean, it does impact my sleep. So anyway, this light here has got to be Reams. Yeah, I recognize the cube sign. Fun scenic route to come into work today. So anyway, I sent her that message when I got up yesterday. No, day before. Was it yesterday? I don't know. My days blend together so badly. Anyway, and she never responded to that. Now, yeah, I guess technically day before yesterday, as long as you're considering that today is Thursday morning, so Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Oh, by the way, I figured out the name of the warehouse that I work for. It's Williams-Sonoma. That's what it's called, Williams-Sonoma. I can remember Sonoma because it's Sonoma County. Williams doesn't stick in my head very well because it's just such a ridiculous common name, but it's Williams-Sonoma with a hyphen in it. And there's more green twinkle on the left. TDR lights. Well, it's so weird how the phone makes this area here so bright when it's really not. So anyway, yeah, Tuesday, no, and all never did hear back from her whatsoever. Now, at one point, I wasn't able to get back to sleep after I woke up, and I ended up going out. For karaoke. Had that crazy dude throw a drink at me, and that was fun. Try to chase me down in the parking lot of the Dirty Drummer. But yeah, he Luke Bear Force Base, by the way, directly across the fence in front of me. This is the employee parking lot, at least one of them, for where else I work at, where they've asked me to park. By the way, the crew that I work with is only about 25 people. This is a big change. Now, there are other people that work in the building, but the actual group that I work with, which isn't all forklift drivers. I don't know how many forklift drivers there are. I want to say it's probably about 8. There was a new one that was trying to test yesterday. I don't know if they certified him or not. He seemed to be really struggling. Although I think somebody objectively watching me would have probably said the same thing about me. And I was struggling. I was trying to figure out how the hell the control worked on the Raymonds. It was so radically different from the Jungheimer I'm used to. It's like, okay, this is the same piece of equipment that I'm used to operating, and everything looks superficially the same on it, but wow, this joystick is different. How do I work this? I had no problem with the knob. The joystick fucked me up. I love how there's no security here. I mean, it's such a ritual and routine at Amazon to go through security and mostly come out through security, and you know, with the badges and the 2 layers of doors and whatnot. Whereas here, it's just like one door in the corner, and it's generally, when I'm here, held open with a lock. That may change when the place gets busier and whatever, but yeah, that's how it is right now. But I understand that the problem is people that, you know, business with really high turnover, that they're concerned about, that they're largely concerned about employee theft, and let's face it, this is a furniture warehouse, whereas Amazon sells literally everything, and it's a whole lot harder to sneak a couch out in your pockets than it is a pair of Apple AirPods. So anyway, wrap up the Priscilla story. I got about 12 minutes before I have to go in. So I did kind of kick it at home for a while before I headed out to the bar, and was listened to a new record that I purchased quite some time ago. The last album from Panic at the Disco, which was okay. It's not as good as, I don't like it as much as their previous albums. I feel like I need to listen to it again, but it was kind of wearing on me by the middle of the second side. And that was unexpectedly translucent yellow vinyl. There was no hype sticker on it saying it had colored vinyl. Added to my Discogs, looked it up. Apparently it's supposed to have a hype sticker, but it didn't have one. And I bought it new, so that's very peculiar. Anyway, I was there for a bit, and as I put that record off turntable, I had to take the record that was on the turntable off, which was Gordon Lightfoot, Sundown. And I just felt motivated to take a picture of it and post it on Snapchat. Gordon Lightfoot died a few weeks ago, and that record was actually sitting on my turntable the day that he died. It's just one of my favorite albums of all time. It's something that's spent a lot of time on my turntable, especially in the last year or so. It never really ends up getting put away under L for Lightfoot. It's either on the turntable or directly behind the turntable or on the floor nearly in front of the turntable where records I've recently played are, or occasionally it goes into this one cube with like my favorite records that I play all the time. It very rarely gets put with the rest of the Gordon Lightfoot albums. Anyway, I just saw it and I was putting the record back away in it, and I just felt like just taking a picture of it and some thoughts about Gordon Lightfoot. So anyway, yesterday, and this would have been in the evening on Tuesday. So yesterday being Thursday, which is kind of my today now, sort of, because like I sleep in the afternoon and evening now, since I can't sleep in the mornings because I'm working in the mornings. And I can't really sleep at night because I'm just not a night sleeper. Like if I try to sleep at night and wake up early in the morning to go to a morning job, it just simply doesn't happen. And I kind of need this job. So anyway, yeah, I did. I largely stayed in bed. I thought about going out last night, Wednesday night. I know if I want to go to karaoke, I can go to, I don't know why I always want to call it Carousel, Skipper's Lounge. For some reason I think of that place and then the word that comes to mind is carousel. I don't understand why that is, but Skipper's on 43rd. and Bethany. But that's a pretty long drive from my place, and the reality is that I'm doing a really long drive on this commute, and gas is fucking $5 a gallon right now. And I'm still not really 100% sure where I'm sitting financially right now. I don't think I got a direct deposit this week from Amazon. So it could be that last payment I got was just them paying me out for my owed vacation time and my owed vacation and PTO, and that I'm not getting administrative leave pay for my appeal because I'm not contesting getting fired as much as I'm contesting that I didn't quit, and it's not quit through job abandonment. I don't know the details on it. Anyway, so without my A to Z app, I just don't know how to access any of that kind of stuff. So I was thinking about going out, and I'm like, nah, last week I went out, and it was just highly disappointing, and I didn't really see anybody, and I mean, shit, I went out on Saturday night, and went out Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and didn't, meet or hook up with anybody or connect with any women, and, so what's the fucking point, I went out, I sang Tuesday night and had a good time. So Wednesday night, yeah, it just wasn't, which is, last night, connected to this morning. I'm just not really feeling it. I'm feeling really just blah. And I'm just, if I had someone to call for a booty call, that's what I want. That's what I want to do, but that's not, I just don't have that right now. So I'm just laying in a bed alone, kind of switching between YouTube porn and editing my vlog, and Reddit, just to pass the time, and trying to preview some of my vlogs, although almost every time I put one on and try to listen to it, I end up just falling asleep to my own voice, which is ridiculous, but that's what's happening. And so at one point, so I'm waking up and falling back asleep, and waking up, falling back asleep. Because I know the first time I woke up, it was probably only around 8 p.m. And I feel like I went to sleep around 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 hours? Yeah, not as many hours of sleep as I'd like to. I was painfully sleepy between third break and the end of my shift yesterday, to the point it was making me nervous on the forklift. And at Amazon, I would have just PTO'd or PTO'd, or UPT'd out and just told whatever supervisor I had, of like, hey, I don't feel I'm safe on the forklift. I'm tired. I don't feel like I have the liberty to do that here, which is kind of uncomfortable. But I don't feel I've been here long enough to even kind of have that discussion yet. So anyway, at least I am cleared to leave it. It's already agreed I'm leaving today at noon to handle my Amazon thing. I said I had an appointment. I never said doctor's appointment. And when the HR guy who had the interview with me came back, goes, oh yeah, well, for doctor's appointment. And I didn't tell him it was not doctor's appointment. I guess I'm bothered by the fact that to me it should just be none of their fucking business. Why I'm leaving. That's my personal life. It's none of your business. But yeah, I said appointment. I never said doctor's appointment, so I'm not sure how that got construed to doctor's appointment. But whatever. I didn't correct him on that. It's already expected I'm leaving today at noon, and that's just so I can get home before 1. Hopefully, get home before 1 and have access to my Wi-Fi, so I have a stable internet to try to do this phone video conference, provided they don't message me and say that I can do it in person. In which case, I'm driving a GYO3 from here. So I see other people walking in. It's about time for me to get going. I better try to wrap up the Priscilla story. Really not too much else to say. I woke up to, at one point, as I was working on vlogs and doing just kind of the lay in bed and don't feel like going anywhere or really doing anything kind of thing. And just trying to sleep the time away until it's time to go to work, but not oversleep. And at one point I noticed I got a message from her, and I don't know what time it happened. I want to say it was probably, I don't know, maybe it was when I woke up at 8:30. But she had responded to the picture of the Gordon Lightfoot album and said, oh, I thought you were sleeping. As if I was lying about the fact that I sleep. I sleep. Hello. Everybody sleeps at some point, except for the people who are really strung out on drugs. And then after that, she says, so you're still not letting me see my babies? Bitch, they're not your babies. They're fucking cats. Also not your cats. Anyway, so I'm not even responding to that. And I was thinking that I would maybe respond to her like in the wee hours of the morning. I didn't expect her to show up fucking banging on my window and ding-a-ding-dinging on my bell at the wee hours of the morning. That was honestly the time I was planning to shoot her a message. Just basically reiterating that, hey, I just can't. If I'm living a sexless life, I can't be around you. Full stop. Bad for my mental health. I need you to leave me alone. Just gonna send her that message. But anyway, I ended up waking up to her dinging on my bell, knocking on my door. That brings me to right now. I gotta get in and go to work. Thanks for coming with me on this drive.